Good evening and welcome to Monday's Midlands Today from the BBC. Tonight, more flights, more choice. Controversial work to extend the runway at Birmingham Airport could begin as early as this summer. The Transport Secretary, Justine Greening, was told today that a longer runway will help to open the region up to long-range destinations around the globe.
A link-up with the high-speed rail project could also turn Birmingham into a major international transport hub, helping to drive economic recovery. Environmentalists condemn the proposal, saying taxpayers will be left to foot the bill at a time of cuts to public services. Here's our political editor, Patrick Burns.
Rising out of the winter gloom, the first tangible commitment to the runway extension. A new £33 million control tower replacing the old one from which you can't even see where the extended runway would end. So with no new runways promised for London's congested airports, could this one help to take the strain? Justine Greening was told the state-of-the-art international pier, opened 2 years ago, could cope with an extra 9 million passengers a year as of now.
This place is genuinely world-class at last, but frustrated managers here feel there aren't enough of the world's airlines here to stop Midlanders heading off in their droves to London's congested airports.
With a new Transport Secretary in the driving seat, the government want to know if facilities here are up to the job of delivering more flights for Midlanders and a new option for Londoners too.
People in Birmingham have a great airport right on their doorstep that is also well connected with London, and hopefully we'll have more and more flights to more destinations. So I think it's good news for them. It's probably good news for Londoners that actually in the time it might take them to hop on the Piccadilly line to Heathrow, they might be able to just head up on high-speed rail and pop on a plane at Birmingham instead.
Airport managers hope to persuade environmental campaigners that it's a more eco-friendly option to extend this existing runway than to build a brand new one in the southeast. But opponents condemn the proposed increase in runway capacity here as an unwarranted drain on the public purse.
Taxpayers are going to have to foot the bill for that extension by paying almost all of the cost to divert the A45, £26 million, which obviously the time the economy is very cash-strapped, the government's cash-strapped, the taxpayer is going to have to foot the bill, which doesn't seem quite fair when that should be spent on public services.
It has been an epic battle for airport managers, initially to gain planning permission and then to secure the business case. Shareholders have been studying the tenders for the project and are expected to reach a final decision at the end of this month. If all goes to plan, work could begin as early as this summer, with the first non-stop flights to the Pacific Rim 2 years after that.
Well, let's talk to Patrick now, who's at the airport for us now. So, Patrick, how confident is the airport that work on that runway extension will begin in the summer?
I think, Suzanne, there is cautious optimism here. The caution is explained by the fact that they've been talking seriously about extending the runway here for nearly 40 years, so no one here wants to say anything that tempts fate. But what we now know as a result of today is that there is real serious political will right at the top. I'm joined by the Chief Executive of Birmingham Airport, Paul Kehoe. Paul, if everything goes to plan, those flights using the new runway would start in the summer of 2014. How does that prospect look to you tonight? Realistic?
It looks very realistic. Clearly there's a few decisions that we have to make as a company. The board has to sign this off. The shareholders must say, yes, everything's in place. The tenders have been received now. We're putting all the paperwork together, and hopefully in the next few weeks we'll have a decision to move forward.
The Secretary of State was here really thinking about her aviation strategy, which is being published next month. But it does seem that Birmingham actually has a role in UK aviation as a whole as a result of that.
Absolutely, and that's what we've been saying to the Secretary of State. She came to see for herself today the facilities that we've got. That, plus HS2, plus the enterprise zone, plus all the other things happening in this region, build a very great story.
What do you say to environmentalists who worry about the drain on the public purse and the impact on the environment here?
The environment is a very important part of our going forward. We have to make sure that we develop sustainably and in a controlled fashion. But actually we do need the economic growth. We need to revitalise this region.
Quick word, very quick word about the weather. You had some complaints about the delays over the weekend in the snow.
We did. We were closed for 12 hours. We had to move 20,000 tonnes of snow from the runway. Hopefully things are back to normal now and no delays today.
Paul Kehoe, thank you very much indeed. More on the weather in a moment. So from us here at the airport, back to you.
Patrick, thanks very much.